90s kids rejoice! The Tony Hawk's Pro Skater series is making a comeback. Despite its rather tragic fall from grace, the Birdman himself has confirmed that it has a future. But what can we expect, and is there still room for Tony Hawk games? I'm Ash Dixon, and this is GINX News. If you're watching this video, chances are, like me, the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games were a fundamental part of your childhood. And considering it was the era of Jackass and pranking your friends into visiting horrific web pages, it was probably one of the few positive influences that we had. Although those games did convince 7-year-old me that attempting a twist of a plastic kicker ramp was a good idea. But that's just how influential those Tony Hawk games were. Admittedly, as someone born in '96, the first game I remember actually playing was Pro Skater 3, and man, what an introduction. Yeah, the eyeball getting impaled during the Neversoft title screen always made me uncomfortable, but then that meaty bass line of Ace of Spades would kick in for the intro video, and my little mind was blown. And it was hard not to be instantly mesmerized through that combination of pulling off insane combos to a soundtrack of absolute bops. Thank God I had those games to mold my music taste as opposed to the soulless algorithm of TikTok like the kids of today. And things only got better with Pro Skater 4. Underground 1 and 2 and American Wasteland took a different direction, but they were still a lot of fun. But that glory would soon be cut short by the absolute masterpiece that was Skate. The analog stick-based control scheme was just so intuitive and satisfying, and while Skate 2 and 3 built upon those fantastic foundations, suddenly Tony Hawk was over there playing with tacky plastic peripherals. Like, whose silly idea was that? Oh, it was Tony's? Awkward. Though rather humbling, knowing that even a skateboarding god can make mistakes. God, I love that man. And so, the era of Tony Hawk was over. And as the next decade passed, we all became adults, got jobs, grinded away in our naively bright-eyed way, all for the world to shut down thanks to old Rona. But in that lockdown darkness, there was a light. Animal Crossing: New Horizons, followed closely by a near-perfect remake of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. Vicarious Visions had beautifully balanced modernizing the visuals and engine while skillfully retaining that sweet, sweet nostalgic feel. And considering its commercial and critical success, surely this would be a new dawn of Tony Hawk. Nope, Vicarious Visions were absorbed into Blizzard, and the plans for a remake of 3 and 4 was scrapped. It was like falling back in love with skating as an adult, reigniting that childlike wonder as you learn new tricks, only to be slapped by reality by landing primo and destroying your ankles. But not all hope was lost. Yesterday, on the 25th anniversary of the first Tony Hawk game, the Birdman himself announced, "I'm not supposed to tease anything else about the future of the series, but there will be a future." Who knew Hawks could make such sweet sounds? In fact, what do Hawks actually sound like? Okay, Jesus Christ, never mind. Now, speculation time. We know Tony has been in talks with Activision, though the actual developer is still very much in the air. The obvious choice would be to give the people what they want in the form of a remake of 3 and 4. After that, the Underground games would be a sensible choice. But what then? Maybe there's plans for something completely new. I mean, the appetite is there. Yeah, it's 2024 and the 900 is now a warm-up trick for 12-year-olds, but few people have managed to get even cooler as they've gotten older, quite like Tony Hawk. Hell, after Dave Grohl's recent antics, Tony Hawk is now the undisputed king of cool dads. His son has just had a kid with Francis Bean Cobain. Imagine having Tony Hawk and Kurt Cobain as your grandparents. Holy shit. When it comes to the games though, can't help but feel that the arcade-style control scheme is great for grinding down memory lane, but for a new, modern skateboarding game, yeah, no thanks. Especially with a new Skate on the way, which is looking pretty damn spicy. Skater XL has shown that there is still some room for experimentation when it comes to control schemes, but I'm curious how you think a brand new Tony Hawk's Pro Skater game should play. Or perhaps there shouldn't be a new one at all. Perhaps their rightful place is in the masterful remakes that transport us back to better times. Comment down below what you hope to see, and why not hit that subscribe while you're at it. We're a very small channel and we pour a lot of love into these videos, so your support really is appreciated. I'll be back with a new GINX News on Wednesday.